Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? I'm slightly concerned. I can see that there are people watching, but I haven't received a single comment yet, which is somewhat unusual. So I hope the comments are working, because otherwise I'm going to be talking to myself. While we're figuring that out, guess what I'm doing this evening? I'm going to watch a pantomime with my grandchildren. Now, be honest, does this look like the face of a pantomime fan? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Screaming children, men dressed as women, and jokes you can see coming a mile off. Stirring a shark attack, and you've probably got my basic worst nightmare. So wish me luck. Incidentally, and speaking of entertainment, if you like eerie sci-fi movies and you have access to Netflix as well, highly recommend Leave the World Behind, which I watched last night. Very good indeed. Stars Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, and Kevin Bacon pops up at 1.2. Won't tell you anything, as I don't want to spoil it, but Leave the World Behind is very good indeed. Now, what I may have to do here is let me have a look, see if I can do it already. Yeah, not seeing anything. I may have to actually run. Ignore all that I was saying, because the comments just arrived. Glenn Johnston was first off the mark. Gary Muirhead's here. Chris Ford is here. Let's wow. Thanks for your support, guys. Behind you. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Chris Ford goes and say, look out, he's behind you. Sometimes feel that's the case anyway. Now I've got some comments coming through. I'm going to roll the intro, get the and post the question of the day, and get this damn show on the road. Let's do that right now. It is a Tuesday, the 12th of December. Really, 12th of December. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we're going to take a closer look at the Bobcat T650 compact track loader. We're going to look at how Sunward is supporting its European customers, why Exsel Plant chose Kubota as its mini excavator of choice, and Caterpillar's latest contribution to site safety. Plus, Volvo starts them young. But before we get to all of that, we're going to peer back through the mist of time to see what was happening on this day in history. On this day in 1822, Mexico was officially recognized as an independent nation by the US. In 1901, Marconi sent the first transatlantic radio signal all the way from Cornwall, right here in the UK, all the way to Newfoundland in Canada. In 1955, the first prototype hovercraft was patented by inventor Christopher Cockerell. In 1961, somewhat belatedly, Adolf Eichmann was found guilty of war crimes. In 1972, the movie The Poseidon Adventure premiered in New York and has been a staple on UK TV screens ever since. It's about a boat that kind of sinks, but doesn't, which is probably why it keeps bobbing back up on the TV screens. In 1977, personally, I think this is a better movie. The movie Saturday Night Fever was released, 1977, and I want you to all take a long, hard look at yourselves. On this day in 2019, Boris Johnson won a British general election, securing an 80-seat majority. People, what were we all thinking? Yeah. Now, before we get into the real meat of the show, let me very quickly remind you of our question of the day. Now, I do realise that some of you might be watching this while you're sat with your loved ones, so I fully understand if you decline to answer our question of the day today. But our question is this: what is the worst, not the best, but the worst Christmas gift you have ever received? When I first left home, my parents, or more specifically my father, bought me a toolkit complete with screwdrivers and spanners. He would have been better off buying a computer for a goldfish. Unless it had come with instructions, which it didn't, complete waste of money, completely wasted on me. And I'm to the point, I don't think it ever came out of the wrapping paper, and I don't even know whatever happened to it. Yeah, a toolkit for this guy, seriously. But what about you? What is the worst Christmas present that you've ever received? Let us know in the chat if it is safe to do so. And we'll come back to that right at the end of the show. Speaking of which, let's start, shall we? Judging by the flow of new product videos into my email inbox these past few days, it appears that most equipment manufacturers have started their Christmas holidays early. Thankfully, however, our friends at Bobcat are still pumping out new machines and new videos to support them. And this one features the T650 compact track loader.
One of Bobcat's most popular compact track loader models, the T650, is back and ready to get to work. With a rated operating capacity of 2,570 pounds and a 74 horsepower diesel-powered engine, this material-moving machine delivers the performance you need from sunup to sundown. Fast and powerful, the T650 is built to tackle the toughest jobs with the Power Bob Attach mounting system. You can quickly move from one task to another by easily swapping out whatever attachment you need for the next project. The T650 is also compatible with the Bob Dock attachment mounting system, which allows operators to change hydraulic attachments without ever leaving the comfort of the cab. The T650 strikes an impressive balance of excellent lift capabilities, fast cycle times, and powerful breakout forces that Bobcat is known for, all with simplified options and configurations. Proven performance, practical features, and pricing to match. That's what you get with this Bobcat compact loader. Check out the T650 features and options at bobcat.com or get a closer look at your local Bobcat dealer.
Yeah, I said yesterday that 2023 was Bobcat's year. Seems they're not quite done yet. One thing that strikes me about compact track loaders kind of reminds me of the situation that we had with tilt rotators and quick couplers. We watched our Scandinavian friends use them for years, and then suddenly one day we all went, do you know, they're onto a thing. I wonder about compact track loaders. You go to the States and every man and his dog have got one. And yet here, still haven't quite caught on. Will they one day? I'd like to think they will. Let's have a bit of this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Gary Muirhead has just asked, is this a machine you can operate with your iPhone? I don't think that's the specific machine, because I'm fairly sure that one you can operate with, I'll need to check, is the actual answer. I mean, the system that you can operate with your iPhone, or other phones are available, I think is a retrofit anyway, so I'm fairly sure it can be applied to any part of the Bobcat range. I don't know if it was specifically that one. I will need to check. Oh dear. Now we've done that part, so let's have a bit of this. I want to let you into a little secret. Us journalists, you know, the real ones, Morning Worthing, ask the same questions over and over and over again. Oh, we change them to suit whoever we're talking to. With JCB, it's, so how involved was Lord Bamford really in the development of this machine? With Volvo, it's, what will you come up with next? And with Caterpillar, it's, well, I don't really speak to Caterpillar, so that's a whole other story. But then we get to the Chinese manufacturers. Although the question will soon be, so, anti-dumping duties, that must sting. It's currently, so how do you plan to provide parts and after-sales support for your European customer base? And in the case of Sunward, the answer would be this. I want to say quick good morning to Ken Hatcher, who just said, wow, good morning, Ken. Thank you for joining us. In answer to Andy Darvell's question, never heard of Sunward before. Where are they from? They are Chinese, although they are very much, as you just saw, very much here in Europe. Also, notice that they are in Tessenderlo. Must be just up the road from Hyundai, who are also, their European operation is also in Tessenderlo. Jim Turner says, very tempted by the Sunward diggers, but now need the money for something else. Have to say, I saw them at Plant Works. Very impressed. I saw them when they first arrived 5 years ago, probably, and they looked as boxy as all hell. They looked square, very square indeed. Give it a couple of years, they've smoothed them off. The cabs have got a bit bigger. They're a lot more comfortable. And there was a couple of machines on the Sunward stand at Plant Works. Very impressive indeed. And also impressed to see their commitment to European customers. Ken Hatcher just says, JCB won't like Sunward. No, I don't think they do. I think you're absolutely right. And just if you missed the story, JCB has urged the government, or a department thereof, to try to bring anti-dumping duties against Sunward and Lugong and XCMG and Uncle Tom Cobley and all from China. Let's have a look. Ken Hatcher says, I saw Sunward in Vegas 20 years ago. Yeah, it must be a long while ago since I first saw them as well. Can't believe it. Oh, Gary, I'm so sad for you. Just received my P45 in the post from the Worthing Advertiser. They said they've had to cut back on numbers. They said the company is top heavy with management. There's only 2 of them. Thanks, Gary. You've made my morning. Yes, good morning to the Worthing Advertiser. Right, should we have a bit more of this kind of thing? Okay, people, strap in because we're off on our travels. We're off to Hampshire to find out why a plant and tool hire business has put its faith in Kubota mini excavators.
I'm Max Pearce, I'm the owner of Exsel Plant and Tool Hire. We're based in Hampshire and now Wiltshire. We chose to work with Kubota because we needed something that was reliable, a high quality built product that, we could pass on to our customers and help sustain us and help us grow the company. We think what sets Kubota apart from other manufacturers is the reliability, build quality of the machinery side of things, a customer service. We get a fantastic customer service from our dealer Andy Harper over the years, and it's what keeps us with Kubota and will always keep us with Kubota. 3 words that we would use to describe Kubota would be reliable, strong, and ease of use, which for us as a hire company are the 3 main factors that we need from a supplier and a machine. Kubota's helped us grow and evolve over the years by producing a fantastic product which meets our customers' high standards and meets our high standards here at Exsel Plant and Tool Hire. Some of the key benefits for the machines for operators will be the ease of use, security features and reliability. The advice that I would give to other businesses looking to partner with Kubota is that, yes, it's important to have a good product, but it's also very important to have a good dealer network around you, which we feel we have that of Harper Plant, being local to us. The future for our business working alongside Kubota is expansion. We're sat currently in our brand new Salisbury depot. We're looking forward to adding more machines here and then more machines to future depots and seeing what Kubota has to offer further down the line.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Max seems like a really smart young guy. I have to agree with him. Field of mini excavators, honest opinion, I still think Kubota is the one to beat. Any thoughts on that? Love to hear from you. We've had a fantastic answer to our question of the day, which, just to remind you, is what is the worst Christmas present you've ever received? Jim Turner, I'll be getting to you very, very soon. Before that, we've got this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Our next film comes from Caterpillar, and it features their smart camera system. So, for the next 6 minutes, sit back and enjoy the latest word in site safety.
When you see more, you can prevent more. CAD Detect with Smart Camera is a rugged safety technology option that adds visibility to your job site and confidence to your operators, making it easy to increase safe operation on your site. It's safety made simple. CAD Smart Camera is an intelligent system. The Smart Camera detects people nearby without the need for wearable technology. It presents live images to a high-def in-cab display, and using audible and visual alerts, the system notifies the operator of the person's proximity to the machine. The system is advanced, but installation on your equipment, CAT and other brands, is quick and easy. It can be installed on most machines with open or closed cabs and 12 or 24 volt systems. If that's your machine, then it's ready for CAT Smart Camera. The Smart Camera Kit comes with everything you need to have smart technology installed on your machine and have a safer site. With it, you'll get the in-cab display with mounting hardware, one smart camera with a mounting bracket, and harnessing to provide power and signal to the camera. Now, let's talk about the installation process. It's really just 4 simple steps. Installation of the in-cab display, installation of the smart camera, the routing and connecting of harnesses, and configuring and calibrating the system. It's 4 steps for more confident operators and a safer work site. And the best part? Your CAT dealer does it for you. The installation process is quick and easy, and it's a one-and-done process. Once calibrated and configured, it should be set, optimizing not just your safety, but also your time. To show you just how easy this process is, we're going to break it down even further. Let's start the install. First is the in-cab display. Your dealer will help you choose the mounting hardware that's right for you. A variety of RAM mounting options are available to accommodate different cab designs and user preferences. So there's a fit for every cab and a comfortable view for every operator. When installing the in-cab display, make sure you avoid blocking the line of sight to mirrors and drilling into the ROPS. Finally, to ensure a clear view, we use the provided rubber boot to protect the display from sunlight and glare. Now that the display is installed, let's move on to the smart camera. The smart camera is mounted on the rear of the machine to help keep track of people your operator could miss. There are 3 basic installation configurations for the camera. These cameras are tough, but even still, we carefully find the best location to mount them. The cleaner and more stable the camera, the better your visibility. So try to avoid locations where the camera lens is exposed to rain or too much direct sunlight. Though it won't ruin the camera or disable the system, raindrops or glare can lead to a lower clarity image on the display. Next, each machine is different, so the optimal mounting location will vary. Take a look at these 2 options. The one on the left is mounted to avoid the obstruction on the back of the machine. The machine on the right has no obstruction, so the camera is mounted high up in position to avoid mud, dirt, and direct sunlight. And lastly, the camera will be angled to ensure the display shows a portion of the machine. This provides the operator with a visual frame of reference. Your display and camera are installed. Now, all that's left to do is to connect them. That's where the durable, easy-to-connect harnesses come in. there are a few basic steps we follow when installing the smart camera harnesses. First, pre-plan the harness routes to avoid pinching and exposure to extreme heat. When routing the harnesses, make sure to follow existing harness and hydraulic lines. This way, the system is kept secure and you avoid unsightly harnessing. The next step is also part of our planning. Certain machines require an additional harness run to be longer than the 8 meters of harness that is included in the smart camera kit. For these applications, we have additional extension harnesses in lengths 1, 3, 5, and 10 meters to give you more flexibility in mounting locations. And lastly, any excess length of your harness will be stored in a figure 8. This helps prevent harnessing from obstructing your view or getting caught on objects. Now that everything is installed, the next step is configuration, where the magic happens. A trained technician will flash the latest smart camera software to the components and configure your system. Once completed, they will verify the system is working properly and it will be ready for use. All that's left then is the simple upkeep. If your smart camera or display get dirty, wipe them clean with a non-abrasive cloth. For tougher grime on the camera, feel free to use a high-pressure spray. The camera is sealed, so a spray with water won't take it out. CAT Smart Camera installation is a quick addition to your fleet, a simple confidence boost for your operators, and an easy way to help make your operation safer. More confidence in the cab and more safety at the job site aren't just great for your operation, they're great for your bottom line. That's safety made simple. Talk to your CAT dealer about adding CAT Detect with Smart Camera to your fleet today.
See more to prevent more. Sounds very simple, yet genius in operation. Had a few bits and pieces in the chat. I'm going to say a very quick good morning to our friend Mantis, who is over on LinkedIn. For some reason, Mantis, your messages aren't coming through on my system here, but I've just popped over to LinkedIn to have a look. And yes, he was talking, he said good morning, Mantis, but he also said about the Bobcat machines, fantastic brand for all things top-down demolition, which is the field that our friend Mantis is in. So thank you very much indeed for that, and apologies for the disconnect between your system and ours. No idea what's going on there. LinkedIn is a law unto itself. We're about to go to our final film, but first, this.
If you would like to buy a limited edition Break Fast show sticker, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/demolition news/extras.
As you know, our question of the day today relates to the worst Christmas present you have ever received. You can still keep those answers coming in for just a little bit longer. We'll get to them in just a moment. But if I was a kid and I received something like this, I would be overjoyed. In fact, never mind being a kid, I'd quite like one of these now. That right there is how you inspire the next generation. Incidentally, did you see the sign in that video? We're building your new home. Is that a Scandinavian thing? Never seen one of those here. Think we should start doing that. We've had a couple of comments. Are they for... yeah, I'll come back to those because it is that time. Because that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around, please stay safe, particularly this time of year. Please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And, you know, goodwill to all men, this being the festive season. Look after everybody as well. Look after everybody else as well, would you? That would be very nice. But if you do have the time and the inclination, please stick around. I will be back with the Craic immediately after this. Yeah, changing up the music a bit today. Good morning, one and all. It won't affect the live stream, but I'm currently unable to type messages because my keyboard has just run out of juice. I'm at a complete loss. So please don't ask me any questions that require me to type because I'm knackered is the word I think I'm looking for. Our friend, good morning, says Wolf Welder. He does it for some reason. He did it over 2 messages, but we get the idea. He's over on YouTube at the morning. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. And now we did feature Kubota earlier in the show. And Gary Newhead says the only problem I found with Kubota equipment is the immobilizer key. One key per machine. Most of the time, when the machine is off-hired, the key is left somewhere on the machine, which can be found, and the machine can be stolen. I find that quite an interesting comment because, from memory, I'm fairly sure Kubota was among the very, very first to start to do something about plant theft. So that one surprises me. But listen, Gary knows his stuff way better than I do. I just sit here and press buttons. So, yeah, thank you for that, Gary. We'll come back to Gary in a moment, very, very soon indeed, actually. Glenn Johnston. Bit of a delay on the comments coming through this morning. I actually thought you'd all buggered off and left me, but it turns out no, there was a log jam or something. Thank you very much indeed for being here, Mr. Johnston, and Mr. Muirhead is here as well. We've got another question of the day from Gary tomorrow, Christmas related, and it's a belter. And Gary, you know what the question is. My answer is no, thank you. Well, I'll share it with you tomorrow. Chris Ford says, good morning, my fellow disruptors. Yes, good morning to you as well, Chris. Jim Turner is here as well. Jim's got a corker of a bad Christmas present story in just a moment. Obviously, we have I do actually have a banner for this thing. Yes, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. we have our Dig Fat Quiz of the Year. But as our friend Chris Ford has just said, if it was, if I can find it, there we are. If it was a big fat quiz of the year, I'd have a head start. Don't believe that for a moment. Yes, I'm off to the Panto this afternoon, or this evening rather. It's behind you. Look out, he's behind. How did it become a thing? How did it become a thing? It feels like a hangover from an age that we should probably have moved on from by now. Just, I hate to be the bar humbug kind of guy, but I'm dreading it. I really am. Now, the question of the day, which came from my own personal pen, what is the worst Christmas present you've ever received? Now, I mentioned the fact that my father bought me a toolkit when I moved out. Complete waste of money. If I have to change a plug, I need to look at a YouTube video first. That's how into DIY I am. So complete waste of money. But my wife, a little bit later on, has just reminded me of my youngest daughter. You know, the one that thought Lee Bear was a man called Lee Bear. Yes, her. She's off sick at the moment, so hopefully she's not listening. But yes, she had something of a knack with bad Christmas presents. Although, being that she was about 4 or 5 at the time, quite endearing. One year, she stole my favourite pen from my desk, wrapped it up, and then gave it back to me. And then another year, which is the one that my wife was just reminding me about, she went out into the garden, picked up a big rock, still covered in mud, wrapped it up, and told me it was a paperweight. Thanks, Courtney. I wonder whatever happened to that rock. You'd think I'd be sat here now saying I treasured it. I think it went back in the garden, actually. Let's have a look. Love the pantomime, says Jim Turner. Oh, yeah, maybe I'm in the minority here. Last one I went to had the Chuckle Brothers in, and I bloody love them. A real shame Barry died. Yeah, it is a shame Barry died, and I wish I could say I knew. Who is the other Chuckle Brother then? I know Barry died. I can't remember the other one's name. But when I was at London Build back in November, he was doing a DJ set. The remaining Chuckle Brother was doing a DJ set at London Build. Is it Paul? Is he a Paul Chuckle? If anyone knows, please let me know, because I don't know whether I'm the wrong age or just kind of kept them at a distance. But if anyone knows the name of the other Chuckle Brother, I guessed right. There you are, Paul Chuckle. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, didn't get to see him or didn't get to meet him and such, but yes, he was doing a DJ set. Imagine going home and telling your friends, you know, I just saw a Chuckle Brother doing a DJ set. They think you are mental. Let me take this off the screen because that's no longer relevant, but it is 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Dig Fat Quiz of the Year. Be there or be square. Now back, do excuse me. Ken Hatcher, what has Ken got in terms of weather? Yes, he's got the rain. I think we've got some of that coming as well. Andy Dalvell is here as well. Now, Andy may be leaving the world of high reach. I don't think the world of high reach excavators will be quite the same without him, but he said on the WhatsApp group this morning he may well be going full-time on cranes. Yep, high reach loss, cranes gain. That's what I say. But stick around, Andy. Even if you go over to the dark side and start messing about with cranes, you're still welcome here. Now, question of the day: worst Christmas present? Gary Muirhead says a box of Just Eat Me dates. Why? I don't know. I don't even like them. Yeah, I've never quite got the whole date thing. They're all right. I've got no real problem with them. And on a couple of occasions when I've been travelling around the Middle East, Turkey, Morocco, Egypt, places like that, dates pop up in stuff. Absolutely fine. Dates in a tagine, lovely. Dates with your breakfast, lovely. Dates at Christmas when there's all that chocolate around. Not really for me. Gary, I will get back to you on whether the T650 is the one that could be operated with your iPhone, because I can't remember. And I couldn't, without a keyboard, I can't actually type into YouTube to look it up. I'm working with one hand tied behind my back this morning. And you know what it is? I'll tell you exactly what it is. So about a week ago, Fred was off to do some photography for David Lloyd Leisure. And one of the things that he stole from my desk is I've got a USB charger that you basically, you plug it into a socket in the wall, but it's got about 5 or 6 USB links to it. Well, when I'm not working, I usually have it plugged into the keyboard and into my mouse as well, to keep them charged. So when I turn up for work, I'm ready to roll. He hasn't given it back, and so I've turned up this morning. The show went live, and a thing came up on my screen to say your keyboard's not working. Good luck with that. So thanks, Fred. Jim Turner, listen, I'm not here to vouch for any particular brand, but I have to say, and if Dan Cullen were here, and he may well be a bit later on, if Dan Cullen were here, he had a look as well, and Ken Hatcher as well. You had a look, Ken. What did you make of the Sunward machines? I thought they looked pretty damn good. They'd come on a long way in the 4 or 5 years since I first saw them here in the UK. Andy Dalvell, never heard of Sunward before. Where are they from? They are from, as I say, they are from China, but they are now, I think they've been in Belgium. It's the Belgium-Netherlands border, actually. They've been here for 4 or 5 years. So yeah, but no, as I say, I saw them at ConExpo. I can't even remember when. I've seen them at Bauma many years ago, but they always looked a bit early generation Chinese. Didn't look that particularly good. And yet they came back at Plant Works this time around, and genuinely, we were filming on their stand anyway, but had a bit of a look, had a bit of a play. Gotta say, mightily impressed. If you didn't know they were Chinese, you wouldn't know they were Chinese. If you know what I mean. Ken Hatcher is saying, "Wow." What is Ken Hatcher saying? Wow about? Probably the Bobcat. JCB won't like Sunward. No, they certainly will not. As I say, just going to really reiterate quickly, JCB have launched an official complaint about the dumping. In other words, dumping is shorthand for selling their equipment in a foreign country too cheaply. We had exactly the same thing back in the mid-80s with Japanese manufacturers, and we now have it with Chinese manufacturers. And I don't think the Chinese manufacturers will make any secret of the fact that they have been selling their equipment at very competitive prices. That's the way you make your way into a new market, and I think over time we will see those prices increase. I think where the issue lies, although JCB are too polite to say so, I think where the issue lies is that some of the Chinese companies are actually state-owned. So you directly or otherwise, so you do actually have effectively a foreign government trying to buy parts of a foreign market, if you see what I mean. So we'll see how all that plays out. If you're watching our prediction show last Wednesday, you may recall that one of my predictions was that we would end up with an anti-dumping levy against our Chinese manufacturers at some point in the next year. It's one of those, I think it will happen. Whether it happens within a year remains to be seen, but I do think it's going to happen. But Ken Hatcher says, I saw Sunward in Las Vegas 20 years ago. Yeah, they've been around for a long while, but just never really made big impact here. And I don't know exactly what came about, but they had kind of a dealer network in place to a degree a few years ago, but then they've gone away, thought about it, come back, and they've come back stronger. And they've got some very good dealers on board. I met a couple of them while I was at Plantworks. Very impressed. Gary Muirhead, sadly, no longer with the Worthing Advertiser. They've said they had to cut back on numbers. They said the company is top heavy with management. There's only 2 of them. Yes, they are very top heavy. It's management, no journalists, just management. Yes, but sorry to hear that. Gary, you're welcome back here at any time. And obviously you've been moonlighting with your question of the day for this show anyway. So welcome back. Question of the day. So, Jim Turner. Question of the day is, what is the worst Christmas present you ever bought? When I was a kid, I was going to have a skateboard for Christmas, so my auntie got me some knee pads and elbow pads. But I changed my mind and I didn't. I didn't have a skateboard after all, and no one told my auntie. So there's Jim Turner, Christmas morning, elbow pads and knee pads for no reason whatsoever. Wonderful stuff. Let's have a look. Back with Jim. But on a different note, I honestly don't know. Well, I don't know how you've managed to pull this off, and I don't know how you've managed to maintain your marriage. But here we go. On a different note, the missus had a massive moan one January, February time about what I bought her for Christmas. So when next Christmas came around, I didn't bother to buy her anything. And I haven't bought her anything for Christmas or birthday since. That was over 10 years ago. She still buys me loads of stuff, though. Well, my first answer to that is she's quite clearly a keeper. But my second answer to that is, Jim, you're letting the male of the species down. Pop out and buy your missus something nice. Even if it's something that you want and she only kind of wants. Go and get your wife something nice. There you are. Just to prove that I wasn't making it up. Here's my other half. I can't think of any bad Christmas presents, but your paperweight with mud takes some beating. Really does. There is Gary Muirhead questioning the security of all things Kubota. As our friend Wolf Welder, Paul Chuckle. Yes, we are. We've figured out who the who the remaining Chuckle brother is. I'm going to say good morning to Osan Alex Daniel. Yes, good morning. Haven't seen you here before, and so as is tradition. Excuse me, that is for Osan Alex Daniel. Don't know how you found us, don't know why you found us, don't know where you are in the world, but you're very welcome. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Andy Darver. Andy. You know how you can get on with some people and then they say one thing and you think, really? I mean, okay, so very quickly, I have a thing with politicians. I mean, I don't like politicians of any brand anyway, but the moment you look at a politician and you think, well, given all that he's surrounded by, he seems perfectly reasonable. I could probably tolerate half an hour in his company, and then they say, yes, my Christian faith is very important to me. That's it, I'm out. Well, Andy Darvell, who I love unconditionally. He is in. Not going to watch. He is in his local pantomime. I've got 3 small parts. Now I'm going to do this pantomime style. I've got 3 small parts. Misses. Can't bloody wait for it to start. I can't bloody wait for it to stop. Good Lord, Andy, what on earth are you thinking? Chris Ford says, never really been disappointed with the Christmas present I've received, only the ones that I didn't get. Well, yes, indeed. And there is our friend Osan. He's in Romania. You may be our Romanian. on the show, but you're very welcome. First time on this page. Well, listen, you are among friends. The door is open whenever you feel like it, between 10 and 11 every weekday morning. You know, Christmas and New Year aside, we're here. You're welcome. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Andy Darvell in pantomime. Just when I thought we could be friends. I almost don't want to ask Andy, but these 3 small parts, what are they? Are you dressed as a woman at any point? Andy Darvell says, my daughter wanted to do it, so I got roped in to do it. Something different to do. Got to have a laugh at myself. Have you really? Yeah, okay. My 3 of my 4 children went through the whole theatrical am-dram dancing, singing thing when they were a lot younger. And I have to admit, I mean, my wife did most of the running around, but I was roped into going and watching productions and running them to rehearsals and all that kind of thing. Absolutely fine. But actually being on stage, good luck, Andy. That's all I can say. Right, I have 2 further things to accomplish today. This evening, grandchildren off to pantomime. This morning, I thought I was rounding up, but okay. So I've just seen the comment from Gary Muirhead. So this evening, I've got pantomime, and I am required to take my other half for a large cup of coffee, because after Andy Darvell's revelations, I need something. Worst Christmas present ever received. Gary Muirhead. An empty box. My dad said it was an Action Man deserter kit. Ah, dear. Thank you very much indeed, Gary. So, everybody, I'm going to call it a halt. This is a short show, actually. 46 and a bit minutes. By the time I've finished, 47 minutes. But everybody, go and have a fantastic day. I'll be back for more of the same. But don't forget, tomorrow night, we have got our Dig Fact Quiz of the Year. Questions about this show, questions about the industry, questions about you as well. Some of you get a mention as well. So please join us if you possibly can. I'm going to get to the end bit in just a second. Andy Darvell says, I did want to be the Dame, but they gave it to someone else. It's only small parts. But, and this is the bit that's got me intrigued, but I get to use my plethora of voices. You have a plethora of voices? Do you? Do you? When you're bored at some point today, Andy, pick up your iPhone, launch the Voice Memos app, and speak in some of your plethora of voices, and then send it to me, would you? I've never met anyone with a plethora of voices before. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Thanks very much indeed, Andy. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Yeah, I'm gonna let Andy have the final word there. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Yes, please do all of that. Andy Darvell, very good at accents. Let's hear your South London then, mate. It sounds a bit like that. See if you can do that. Right, everybody, go and have a fantastic day. Even you, Andy Darvell, and your plethora of voices. The man of a million voices. Can't wait to hear it. Everybody, go and have a fantastic day. Really enjoyed your company this morning. I'll be back tomorrow at 10. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 in the evening as well, because I have no friends. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I'll see you all very soon. All the best.